What's up everybody, this is BR, and let me ask you, do you believe that Apex Legends truly is a competitive game? Now personally, I do think that Apex Legends is a competitive game. In fact, I think that every multiplayer game can be a competitive game. But for the sake of discussion, let me explain to you why others don't. You see, when anybody thinks about a competitive game, the first thing that comes up to their mind is skill focus. Now, skill is a very important component in a competitive game, because that is the place where you would most expect it, where players are trying their best in order to defeat their contenders. And there are a select number of players who do believe that Apex Legends is not a competitive game for this reason. In fact, they don't consider any battle royale to be competitive in any sense. Because even if they have gunplay that requires a skilled input, the main cycle of battle royale where you drop, loot, and fight is a little scuffed and based on randomness. And randomness and any luck-based system does get hated on in a competitive system. And that's mostly because randomness takes away from the skill input. And many believe that if it doesn't focus on skill, then it's no longer competitive. And that is very much the same with Apex Legends. Apex Legends at times can be very luck-based. Depending on where you drop or which bin you open, you either get a starter P2020 without any attachments, or a fully kitted Havoc. You can either find a spot with an abundance of healing items, or not find any around the map. Point is that Apex Legends does require a lot of luck, and for that reason many don't consider it to be an actual competitive game, especially when compared to those that are a lot more skill focused like CSGO, Valorant, or any others. But like I said earlier, I disagree. I do think that Apex Legends and any multiplayer game can be competitive if they really wanted to. For me, a competitive game is merely one where there is competition and it is completely fair. And when I say fair, I mean that all the players in a competitive game agree to the rules, not necessarily saying that they all have equal opportunity to win. Though I will agree that randomness does take away a lot from the skill input of a game, but only specifically in mechanical skill. In other ways, randomness can actually show a lack of skill a lot better than just fair gameplay. Randomness, while it is a tool to be used to spice up gameplay, is also something that gives players a little bit of adversity. From time to time, randomness is going to give a lot of players bad luck. Especially a game like Apex Legends, where dropping is a very important part of the game, and where you land can definitely give you an advantage in future fights. But consider this, it doesn't matter where the best of the best players land. The very best are going to know exactly how to manage their bad luck and take the adversity head on. And I really do think that that's what randomness definitely accomplishes there. The most skilled and talented players in a competition are always going to do consistently well, even with bad luck. I feel like even if you gave Asu a P2020, he can probably wipe out a bunch of squads before anybody can do anything about it. And I think this applies to many other different games as well. It doesn't really matter which it is. Any game could be competitive even if most of it is just randomness. Because those that excel in randomness are truly the ones who show the most skill. Someone who can deal so much with such a bad hand is someone you should very well be afraid of. Just imagine how much better that person would be if there was no randomness there. Take away the patterns that many players rely on in order to be well at the game and see them crumble behind those who truly know what they're doing. And don't think that it's unfair because somebody got better loot based on where they landed in Apex. Nobody knew that those weapons were gonna be there, and if they did know somehow, then that just means that they were cheating. As long as a game has players that agree with the rules and it is completely fair, then it can definitely be considered a competitive game, no matter which multiplayer game it is. Not to mention that mechanical skill isn't the only kind of skill there is. There also exists strategic skill, which can be very important, especially in a first-person shooter. Especially one where map control is such an important thing, or maybe relying on the mechanics is an important thing. Just because you're the best at shooting things on your screen doesn't mean you're the best player. But tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Do you believe that Apex really is a competitive game? Do you think other games deserve to be called competitive? Or do you think competitive games should only focus on skill input instead of any other kind of strategy? Do you agree on my sentiments on competitive games? Make sure to leave your opinion down in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content just like this one. Have a good one.